You want healthy, glowing skin, but with all the products, trends, and conflicting advice, it's hard to know what actually works. I understand. I am Dr. Tina Meder, a former cardiologist and specialist in the skincare development and cosmetic safety expert. I've spent years studying the science of skin. Welcome to Meder Beauty podcast, where we uncover what really matters, break down the science, and give you real expert-backed skincare advice. Whether you're looking to achieve radiant, healthy skin, curious about anti-aging, or want to understand what's really in your product, you are in the right place. Rooted in science and the truth about what your skin actually needs, we'll have in-depth conversations with leading dermatologists, medical experts, and skincare brand founders to bring you the latest innovations, evidence-based insights, and industry secrets that truly make a difference. We are so happy you are here. So let's go. Let's discuss about the male skincare. It's a controversial question because there are 2 points of view. First point of view is the man should use something very specific. So female skincare will not work for the male skin and vice versa. Another point of view is in male skincare, it is a purely marketing trick. So you can buy whatever you want, just pay attention to the label, pay attention to the ingredient, on the function of the product, and you will be happy. And some brands, they are developing the male skincare range. Some skincare brands, they don't do it. And I can say that my brand, Meder Skincare, we don't have male range. So as probably you guess, now when I will explain about the male skincare, I will explain you also why I don't think that men absolutely needs their own specific products. Obviously, it can be nice. The packaging can be different, and I am not a specialist in marketing, but there are a lot of conferences and articles and even book published and explaining that men are attracted by different visual and different message than women. Also, it can be used different textures or different perfumes, but in the core of the skincare formulations, there are ingredients which plays a crucial role. So I would say that men should have an access to the right ingredients, respecting the skin difference. And yes, male skin is different, first and foremost, because the male skin is under the influence of the higher level of androgens, men's steroid hormones circulating in their body. Female skin is under the influence of estrogen, female hormones, which are great, and they are protecting female skin from many kind of external damage, but they're very different. So we see the different functionality in the skin. How men's skin is different? First, men's skin is generally much thicker and denser than women's skin. Actually, the thickness difference in male skin is almost 25% higher when we are speaking about the people with more or less same skin type and more or less in same age category. This distinction is largely due to androgen influence, because under the influence of androgen, skin renewal will be a little bit faster, but in the same time, skin produces more of keratin, more of lipids. It makes the skin better protected. But in the same time, it makes it thicker and, can I say, a bit stronger. Also, the dermis of the male skin is also more voluminous. It has more of collagen, it has more of elastin, and it's thicker than female skin dermis, as well as the epidermis as well. So it's not only about the skin surface, it's about the general thickness of the skin. And as you probably can guess, then it's more difficult to develop wrinkles in the thicker skin with more of collagen. And the amount of the collagen in the male skin, it's one of the most important differences. Collagen, it is the primary structural protein in our skin. we have 29 types of the collagen, which our body uses for different purposes. In our skin, the key collagen type, it is the first type, which creates the structure in our dermis. Also, we have the third type of the collagen, which is situated around capillaries, protecting the capillaries from potential damage. We have fourth and seventh types of the collagen located next to basal membranes. It is a border between the dermis and the epidermis, so we have a specific collagen working mostly for the skin integrity. And in the male skin, we have more of all types of collagen. And in the first place, we have more of the first type of collagen. First type called useful collagen because they are helix-like, three-dimensional fibrous, creating all the skin thickness, skin structure, and they are responsible for the skin elasticity. In the male skin, it can be 10, 15, or even 20% more of the collagen. So the skin can be more elastic, tightened, and literally stronger. Also, the capillary in the male skin, they are better protected because of the higher amount of the collagen around the capillary. It creates this stronger capillary bed. And that's one of the reasons why men's skin is less exposed to the danger of spider webs, except for the situation when it was damaged externally or it was exposed to the combined damage by, for example, alcohol and the sun in the same time. And also the male skin is less fragile because also this integrity part, when the collagen is located next to the basal membrane, it creates this integrity and structure in this part. So it helps to communicate better to cells in the deeper layer of the skin with the cells of the superficial layer of the skin. And it also contributes to the slower skin aging. But in the same time, it's not absolutely out of danger. Both men and women, they lose about the same amount of collagen every year of their life since the moment when we are all on the peak of collagen production. What is interesting about the collagen? We produce much more of collagen during the childhood and the young age, but in the same time, we destroy more collagen during this age. So the turnover of collagen can be very high. But older we are, less we destroy the collagen and less we produce the collagen in the same time. So until 25, 27 years in women and slightly later in men, we produce a lot of collagen and we create what we can call the collagen bank in our skin. So it's our physiological reserve. Life of the collagen is long. It's very long-lasting fibrous, as well as the elastin and other key protein on the skin. The half-life time of the collagen is about 15 years. So literally everything what was produced by skin cells in male skin about the late 20s, early 30s, will stay in the skin until mid-50s or 60s. We lose about 1% of collagen every year, just because nothing is eternal and we have some enzymes which are destroying collagen and renewing collagen, because it's very important for the collagen to keep the structural functionality. But as it's made from many fibers connected to each other with different and complicated biochemical bonds, some places can be damaged by collagenating enzymes or free radicals, or inflammation, or stress hormones. Yes, men, they are less exposed to the aging because they start from the higher point. They have more of collagen in their skin. They produce collagen longer than women produce collagen in their peak ability. And technically, they can keep unwrinkled skin until much longer age. Also, men are not exposed to the dramatic hormonal changes as menopause. Yes, in men, they have andropause, but it's much more delicate. It happens slower. and it kind of smooth change. So in women, if menopause affects the body badly, if the hormonal changes can be really active and crucial, they can lose 20 or even sometimes up to 30% of collagen in a few years around menopause starts. In men, it never happens. Even the worst andropause can lead to the additional loss of the collagen, like 2 or 3%. So the main cause of the loss of the collagen in male skin, it is external damage. And first external damage, and the most important one, it is exposure to the ultraviolet. Because ultraviolet, especially ultraviolet rays type A, they destroy collagen fibers directly because ultraviolet type A can penetrate into the deepest layer of the skin, into the skin dermis. And it interacts with many cells and just destroy collagen, destroys these bonds. And men have a tendency to use sunscreen less and to care less about the potential sun damage of the skin. And actually, it makes us more or less equal because women care more about the skin. Women use more of sunscreens. Women use more of sun skincare, which can potentially help to preserve collagen in the skin. They use collagen boosters as a part of the anti-aging routine. It compensates this gender difference. So the best thing men can do for their skin is to protect it, because it is already stronger, more elastic. It already has a lot of collagen. So yes, we are a little bit jealous because it seems unfair. But if you don't protect it properly against ultraviolet, against air pollution, if you don't use sunscreens, you will just lose this advantage. Technically and theoretically, men's skin is aging visibly and biologically in 8-10 years later than female skin. But if you don't protect the skin with sunscreen, and if you don't use any kind of additional help for the skin, like antioxidant skincare, moisturizing skincare, this difference can be compensated, and men and women can develop wrinkles at the same age. Even sometimes, often amongst men who are living an active lifestyle and love some outdoors activities such as tennis, swimming, bicycle, golf, or running, or anything else, they develop wrinkles even earlier than women. And psychologically, it has different effects. There are a few of interesting and quite funny psychological research about psychological pressure of the different kind of visible age-related changes in face of men and women. Crow's feet wrinkles in women perceived as age-related changes, or even some skin negligence. In men, it speaks about smile and good character. So still, psychologically, it can be a little bit easier. But if you don't want to develop wrinkles earlier than you can biologically, if you want to get this biological advantage as much as you can, all you need to do is to use sunscreen starting from the young age, especially if you love outdoor lifestyle. Despite all these advantages, men's skin has its own challenges. First of all, androgens, male hormones, they are activating sebum production in sebucytes, cells of the sebum glands. Men's skin has more sebum glands comparing to female skin, and sebum glands are more active, so they're producing more of sebum, and that's why teenagers, boys, they are suffering from more severe form of acne and suffering from acne more often altogether. And mattifying solution, on one side, once again, it can play some protective roles, because when your sebum glands produce healthy sebum, it protects the skin more efficiently, it keeps the skin hydrated, but very often the overproduction of the sebum can lead to the inflammatory choices, because microbiome is changing when the environment is changing. And when you have excess of the sebum covering the skin surface, the bacteria called Cutibacterium acnes develops more efficiently and just can overgrow in the microbiome. And when it is overgrown, it produces a lot of byproducts which are inflammatory. So the skin is prone to the inflammation and formation of the comedone, because the hyperproduction of the sebum is also closely related to the hyperproduction of the keratin. And in male skin, you already have more of this protein on the skin surface because the skin renews a little bit more effectively and more actively. So on the skin surface, we have more dead cells, we have more keratin. And if we add to this equation more of sebum, and this sebum can change those inflammatory side, has some more pro-inflammatory fatty acid inside. It leads to the overgrowth of pro-inflammatory bacteria, change of the microbiome, and development of comedones and acne elements. And actually, the male acne is more difficult to treat because the acne treatment and the acne skincare is based on the few pillars. One pillar is control of the sebum production. So we are trying to suppress the sebum production by sebum glands, at least up to 20%, better up to 30%. Another pillar is the exfoliation and elimination of excessive keratin from the skin surface. That's how we prevent the clogging of pores and clogging of sebum glands. Also, in modern approach to the acne, we care about the microbiome, so we suppress the growth of Cutibacterium acnes on the skin, but it is possible only if the sebum glands are controlled and we have the proper amount of the keratin on the skin surface. Also, we are caring about all these complicated microbiome relationships, preventing the formation of the biofilm and preventing the formation of chronic form of acne. In female skin, it's easier because even one procedure of the exfoliation can eliminate all amount of the keratin, and actually it can be even over-exfoliating. That's the main danger of the female skincare. In the male skin, the exfoliation can be less efficient because the skin layers are thicker. So on one side, male customers, they are less in danger of over-exfoliation, even with chemical peels. But on another side, classic traditional abrasive mechanical peels can be just too gentle for the male skin. So I would suggest to go for chemical peels, acid-based peels for male skin, as it's less of danger of sensitization or over-exfoliation. And my favorite, probiotic enzymes, which works amazingly well for both female and male skin, because when you apply probiotics on the skin, they'll be only happy to have more keratins. Another pillar, when we speak about the reduction of the sebum synthesis in the skin, the suppression of activity of sebum glands, once again, in female skin, we are more limited because we can easily over-dry the skin and suppress the sebum production too much. In male skin, it's a little bit easier, but once again, female skincare solution can be too gentle for male skin. So the classic oily skin mattifying moisturizer can be not active enough for male skin. So that's once again why this modern solution, innovative solution based on the active retinol-like compounds and probiotics and prebiotics, they are preferable in the male skincare because they are not sensitizing. As the mechanism of action is different, it works more predictable in the male skin. But still, 1% of retinol can be good enough for the male skin and much less sensitizing for female skin. Also, that's not a danger of the pregnancy because retinol can be unsafe during the pregnancy time. So I will conclude that in the acne treatment, male customers, they are more safe in using traditional solutions. But in the same time, you should understand that all traditional solutions based on acids and retinol, they are increasing the vulnerability of the skin to the ultraviolet. So you should be much more careful with the sun protection. And if you're not used to use sun protection on a regular basis, as you should, it's much better to use innovative solution based on retinol-like substances, retinol alternative, and probiotics and prebiotics. For me personally, that's my absolutely favorite choice, so I will recommend and prescribe it for male patients as well as for female patients. But if you're opting for more traditional treatment, you should understand the difference. What is also interesting about male skin is better moisturized. Not only because sebum glands in male skin produce more of sebums, but also because men are sweating more. Average man sweats twice more than average woman. And men's sweat contains more of lactic acid. And lactic acid is an essential part of the natural moisturizing factor of the skin. That's a blend, a complicated combination of more than 100 different biological compounds which control and increase the water holding capacity of the skin. So in average, male skin holds water better than female skin. And now we come to the conclusion. What kind of the skincare is the best for male skin and how it can be different from female skin? I will say there are a few rules based on the difference of the male skin. First of all, male skincare can be and should be less complicated because the skin is already better protected. Skin cells producing more of collagen. Epidermis cells, they're producing more of lipids. Skin is thicker, so there's no need of extensive boosters or some intense moisturizers like female skin needs after they're 30 and especially in late 30 and later. For male skin, you need the gentle cleanser used on the regular basis twice a day. It's equally important to use it in the morning and the night because at night it's very important to eliminate all debris and dirtiness, toxic air pollution compounds from the skin, oxidized lipids and everything. But during the nighttime, male skin renews more intensely, so you'll have more of dead cells on the skin surface. And you should clean the skin properly in the morning time, not using the shower gel, using the proper gentle cleanser, ideally friendly to the microbiome. Also, another difference of the skin for men who are shaving on a regular basis, especially on the daily basis. Shaving makes the skin more sensitive and more vulnerable because the shaving process, it is micro-traumatizing process in the skin. So the skin can be more sensitive because mechanically it's exfoliated on the daily basis, and also it's more prone to infections of the skin. So it's especially important to use calming anti-inflammatory solutions, ideally enriched with prebiotics and probiotics, because the best thing you can do for your skin after the shaving is to help your microbiome restore the skin barrier as fast as it can. And if until the 20-25 years old, our microbiome is very stable and it can operate on their own without any help in healthy skin. Later, your microbiome needs help, especially when it's exposed to the external damage, such as ultraviolet or smoking or air pollution or internal damage as stress or hyperproduction of hormones. So, cleanser should be very gentle, calming, enriched prebiotics or probiotics. Probably you should go for the sensitive skincare range. And it can be the cleanser designed for female sensitive skin. Why not? Another essential part of the daily skincare routine for male skin would be antioxidant protection. Because you remember, you have more collagen. But to preserve this collagen and protect your natural ability to have strong skin with slower speed of the aging, it is an antioxidant protection and the sun protection. Also, it helps to keep free radicals under control even if you're exposed to the higher stress level. And the last step of the daily skincare routine would be the moisturizer. Most male patients, most male customers, they will be safe using the day moisturizer only until they feel some discomfort or skin dryness, which if the skin is not damaged by the sun, it will happen only around 50, maybe 60 years old. So in the young age and the adult life, day moisturizer will be enough. Most of the time, it would be good to get day moisturizer lightweight. If your microbiome is happy, your skin will be healthy with a minimum of additional help. So it can be the lightweight gel based on the hyaluronic acid, or carrageenan, or glycerin, or even aloe vera leaf juice extract. And it can be with prebiotics and probiotics. If the skin has a tendency to be oily, we recommend oil-free solution, mattifying the skin, reducing the sebum production by sebum glands. My favorite ingredients for male oily skin, they are avocutine, derived from the avocado, acting as retinol in the skin without any retinol side effects, and bioflavonoids from maclura plant stem cells. Great acting as retinoic acid in the skin, suppressing the production and at the same time calming the skin and provide anti-inflammatory protection. And obviously, sunscreen. Best choice of sunscreen for male skin will be, once again, lightweight. I will recommend oil-free sunscreen solution with broad spectrum protection, combining mineral sunscreen filters with organic sunscreen filters. It should be labeled as protection against ultraviolet type B and ultraviolet type A. So you should remember that even if you don't feel sunburn, and even if you feel comfortable wearing sunscreen, being exposed to the ultraviolet, but your skin is still darkening, tanning, it means that ultraviolet type A penetrates into the dermis and breaks down the collagen. Because it do both process simultaneously, activating melanocytes and tanning the skin and breaking the collagen. So if you want to keep your biological advantage, such as higher amount of the collagen in the skin, and you do not want to develop wrinkles earlier, you should protect the skin properly against ultraviolet type B and type A rays. And I will suggest to use a mask at least once a week, and absolutely to use the exfoliation. And for most of men's skin, exfoliation should be used twice a week because, once again, skin is thicker, more of keratin on the skin surface, more of dead cells on the skin surface, and it helps to prevent the pore clogging, the skin oiliness, and the inflammation in the skin. I suggest to choose the exfoliator based on probiotic enzymes, so that should be biological peel. The second best choice will be gentle exfoliator enriched with lactic acid, maybe citric acid, pyruvic acid, so chemical exfoliation, maybe combined with some gentle mechanic abrasion. And I will recommend to use a mask. For most cases, the mask designed for oily skin with mattifying and tonifying effect would be the great choice. I would suggest look for green tea extract in the mask formulation, aloe vera extract, and probably chamomile, probably marigold, some algae, and anti-inflammatory and stimulating peptides. Definitely you don't need a collagen booster if your skin is not severely damaged by ultraviolet or by air pollution. If you are the hard smoker, collagen booster can help, but nothing is almighty. It's better to quit smoking to protect your skin and to preserve your skin collagen from degradation. And I will say that probably about the texture of the mask, by my experience, after 17 years of practicing in the clinic and more than 30 years working in the industry, I will say that sheet masks are better designed for men's skin than creamy mask, because creamy mask, most of them, they have too much of lipids. And cream mask can be also traumatizing for men's skin, so they're not an ideal choice. So, look for good quality sheet mask with moisturizing, anti-inflammatory, and mattifying effect. Absolutely find the exfoliator, which should be used twice a week, and the daily minimalistic skincare routine, gentle microbiome-friendly cleanser, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, moisturizing solution helping to protect your skin more efficiently, and the sunscreen and lightweight moisturizer, which can be used before applying sunscreen. And it helps you to wear sunscreen more comfortably, with less heaviness and less of feeling of discomfort. And you should absolutely to use sunscreen. It's what helps to protect your skin better and to enjoy your youthful skin for longer. Thank you for joining us today on the Matter Beauty podcast. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an expert skincare tip. Have a question or topic you'd like for me to cover? Send me a message at podcast@matterbeauty.com and let's keep the conversation going. Also, you can visit matterbeauty.com and discover Matter Skincare, which I created. And if you enjoyed the show, I'd love if you left a review. It helps others find the podcast and keeps us growing. Until next time, stay healthy, stay glowing, and take care of your skin.